Hello, in today's video we'll look at user flows and annotations in Zeplin. We'll get to understand the importance of these new features and also how to use them. In the last video I introduced Zeplin as a workspace that helps us to hand over our designs to developers so they can actually implement the exact designs we have. If you haven't watched that video, please do so before watching this very one. The link to that video is somewhere here in this video. Let's talk about user flows. User flows are diagrams that shows the path a user will follow to complete a specific task in a product. So before now, people will have to create user flows in design tools, and Zeplin has identified the challenges and downsides of this process. One major challenge is that creating user flows in design tools means using custom shapes, arrows, text boxes, and more. This process is cumbersome. Another challenge is maintaining and updating user flows. For example, if I move or add a screen, these shapes, lines, and text boxes have to be repositioned. If the user flow is large, then this can be a lot of work. With the new user flow feature in Zeplin, we can create user flows from our existing screens. By so doing, this will eliminate the challenges we face while using other design tools. We can also organize our user flows such that our team members can easily understand the full intention of our product. Let me walk you through how to create user flows in Zeplin. So guys, let me show you how to add screens to your flow, and let's look at the flow environment. This is a typical dashboard environment for a Zeplin project. You might be new to this because you have not watched the previous video. Check the link in the description to watch the video so that you understand how to use Zeplin if you don't know about Zeplin. So this is a random project where you can create snacks and manage your snacks. So I have already sections called the create section and also the account section. So pretty much this is what I have. So if you already have an idea about Zeplin and how to use Zeplin, you'll find out there's a new tab called the Flows tab. Initially what we had was the dashboard and the style guide. Now we can navigate to the Flow tab. Let's click on the Flow tab. So interesting. So we don't have any user flows yet. But I'm going to show you how to add screens to your Flow tab. So right now it's just empty, and I like the description where it says flows in Zeplin provide a bed field where your projects can be seen by managers, have a broad view by your managers, and understand all the possibilities of paths and behaviors in the project. So back to the dashboard, if I want to add a single screen to the Flow tab, what I can do is to right click on that screen and click Add to Flow. So if I go to the Flow tab, interesting, I have that in the Flow tab. So if you look at this, you can see the zoom in and zoom out option. So you can zoom in and your screens become more bigger. So that's how easy it is to add screens to the Flow tab. And also, if you look, there are alignment snap grids that help us to actually align content. You could see that the screens is actually snapping. So to move your screens around, just click on it and drag. You can move your screens around. So let's go back to the dashboard. Assuming I want to add the whole screens in this create section, what I can do is just click on this, and it says open flow menu. So when I click on it, I can say add remaining screens to flow. So when I do that and go back to the Flow tab, I'm going to see that all screens have been added from the create section to the Flow tab. Interesting. That's how easy it is to add screens to your flow tab. So easy. So if I go back to the dashboard, you could see I can navigate to the flow by clicking on this. It tells me the number of screens I have on the flow, and I can as well just click on that and it takes me to the Flow tab. So guys, I've shown you how to add screens to your flow. What next we can do is to show how to connect these screens together using the connectors in Zeplin. So for example, this is the default home page. So I want if you click on any of these or any of the cards here, You know, we have the 4-pack snack, 4 snack pack and the 6-pack. So I want to show a variant where if you click on this or select this, it should take you to a variant where you see that it is highlighted. So what I can do is I'm going to bring this down, and because this is a variant, it has some variants, so you understand more about variants in the previous video. So when I click on this, I can duplicate this by clicking on this multiple this 3 dots here. Click on it and I can say add another copy. So that's another way to create another copy of your screens. So once I do this, I'm going to simply drag this down because I'm actually working. I need the space to work on this very one. So once this is here, I can click on the variant option here and I will change the variant. So this is the default variant. So if I change this to selected, and this should be the selected variant. So assuming I want to show the developer or the team members that once you select one of these cards, it should show a kind of a green line that shows that this is actually selected. So what I can do is I can actually add a connector to the whole of the screen, or I can add to a single element. So once you select the screen, you're going to see node points where you can actually get your connectors from, or when I click on a particular element, you can see the node also attached to that. So I can click on this node and drag to this. So this is how you add connectors in Zeplin. So this is pretty easy, and the interesting part of this is that I don't have to start, if I have a new screen to add, or I have to rearrange this on other design projects, tools, sorry. It's very difficult for you to actually achieve this. But with Zeplin, you can easily drag and snap around each of the screen. So what I can do now is I can go ahead to create more flows. So what I can do here is I can take this. So assuming you select, so what I can do is I can create more space here, and I'm going to make a copy of this. So I click here and click add another copy. So this is the copy added. So I can take this down here, and what I can do is I can bring this very correct here, and I'm going to click on this because actually what we created was, can you see this? Actually what we created was the create on date button bundle. So when I click on this, I can snap this to this. So I can simply add a label here showing that once you click on this, it should take you to this particular screen. So what I can do is click on it and you will see more other functionalities you can do with this. So let's go ahead and add a label. So when I click on text, I'll say once it is clicked. So once this is clicked, you can also rearrange this. So you're trying to explain to your engineers that once they click on this card, it should bring them to this particular screen. You can as well do other modification on this, but this is how you could add label in Zeplin. So I can also add a label here. I can say once it is hovered on. So what is it hover on? So once you hover on this, it should take you to this. So this is how you add labels. So guys, assuming I want to add more connectors and differentiate one connector from another, or differentiate different actions of the connectors. So what I can do, Zeplin provided such feature for us. So what we can do is, assuming I want to add like on this element to take me back to this homepage screen. So what I can do is to drag this point to create a connection. So I've created a connection that goes back to the screen. So this is a reverse action. I might, depending on what your team is using, I might choose to use the color red for a reversed action. So this, my team will understand this is a reversed action. It's taking me back to a previous action which has been performed. So you can also you can also change this to a different color as well. You can also make it green. Maybe this is depending on what your team comes up with. So this is one way to differentiate the different connectors in Zeplin flows. So another thing is we can also change the styles of these connectors. For now, we have the dash style, and then we have the default style, which we have here. So you can also add floating text. Maybe you want to give more description to this action. So maybe I can just you could just hit the T command on the T key on the keyboard, and you could go ahead and type. So maybe I want to say, okay, what I needed here is a smooth animation. So I can go ahead and type on this text which I've added. I can say smooth animate. So once I do that, I can drag it over here to take like a more description to this particular connector. So that's how to differentiate and add more a floating text to actually describe more. It gives rooms for more description, more than that of the label which we just added. So that's how to add different types, differentiate between connectors. Another thing I want to show you is how to delete connectors. So just click on a particular connector and click on delete, and it simply goes away. So I'm going to do this here, and you watch it goes with the label as well. It's pretty easy to use and pretty easy to manage in Zeplin. So another thing I want to show you guys here is how to group various screens. So assuming I want to group these screens, so what I can do is to select the both screen, and then you see the group option that will come here. So I'll click on group and give it a title, and maybe I call this create snack. So if you're creating snacks, this is like a feature in the app. So your developers can easily just focus on, okay, I'm working on this particular create snack feature. So they go to the create snack feature and focus on there and look at the interactions that are going on this create snack. You can also just navigate. Okay, I can also take this to also drag them down and also create a group for them. So I'll click on create group, and I call this test. Let me just use a random name for this. So I could call this create. I could just call this create. I'm just trying to show you some features you can use here. So on the groups here, you can easily, you can easily click on any of the group and it will take you there. So easy. So if I click on create snacks, it takes me there. If I click on this create, it also takes me there. This is a cool feature on Zeplin, and it's very interesting. If you want to delete the group, so just click on any of them, and you click on any of them and just click on the more option here, and you can see remove group. You can also change the color of the group. Really interesting feature in Zeplin. So in a situation where you are inspecting a particular screen and you want to see the flows for that particular screens, Zeplin also provided a feature for us which can help us to navigate between our inspected screen and our various flows. So if I'm going back to the dashboard now and I click on a particular screen that has, let me go back to the dashboard. And if you look at this particular screen now, if I click on it, you're going to see the screen here. So these are the various variants, selected and default. So when I click on this default or selected any of the variants, so on the default, you could see this arrow showing up here. This arrows tells you the various flow connections which have been done on the screen. It's a cool feature which allows you which allows the developers to navigate to the various flows without having to go to the flow tab to actually know what is happening on that particular screen. So I think this is a cool feature to just take you straight to the screen, and you can navigate various screens without even going to the flow and really understand what is actually happening on the flow tab. So that's how you can navigate flows while inspecting a particular screen in Zeplin flows. So guys, let's talk about annotations. Annotations helps to give an extra information to elements of our design. As product designers, we can leverage this new feature to add extra information about the behavior, requirements, animations, and APIs of various elements in our design. So guys, let me show you how to add annotations in Zeplin. So if I click on a particular screen, so I can look for a particular screen. So if I click on this screen, it takes me to the expert section of the screen. So I want to add an annotation. So annotation gives more information to team members. So I zoom in and want to add more information to this. I can actually click on this plus icon here. And once I click on it, I select the particular point I want the annotation to be added. I wanted it to be added on this button. So once I click on it, I can change this from comments to annotations. So I can go ahead and start typing what I want to type about this particular buttons. So remember I talked about annotations. It can be either APIs you want to explain, or it can be either hover features like states and the rest of that. So what I can do is to click on the select type and choose the kind of annotation I want to add, either on behavior or when it's hovered on, or requirements. Maybe before you click on this, some of this must be checked, or there's an animation, how it should animate, or you can add a GIF to that, or API which will be linked to the back end. So this is a great feature to explain, give more extra information about different elements in our design. So I can go ahead and click on, let's say API, and I can go ahead and type the API link here. So assuming this is our API link, so I can actually just add this here immediately and post. So this is how you add annotations in Zeplin. So another thing we can look is if you see the badges of annotations that are being added. So assuming there are several annotations added on the screens, you're going to see the badges, and you're going to see whether it's an API or whether it's a behavior kind of annotation, or what type of annotation it is. You're going to see that as labels. So if I click on this particular annotation, I can go ahead and see the details. As the engineer, I will need this to actually work, so I will know where I'm actually posting or getting response depending on what I'm working on here. So this is a cool feature that gives more description, more information to the developers. So Zeplin is trying to make things more easy for us as users of this application to get more value while we use Zeplin. So now if you click on this particular file, you could see the annotations here. So assuming I have several types of annotations, so let me just go ahead and add another one. So you could use the command on the keyboard and click at any one. So maybe I'm adding a behavior kind of annotation to this. So when you're typing, I want the text to be red. So once you click on that, so I can post this. So once I post this, you could see the labels here. You could see annotation for behavior, annotation for API. So the developers or the engineers can actually click on any one and get more information about that element. But on the right hand side here, you could see a tab for the annotations. You could see all annotation. I could sort different types of annotation. So if I'm focused on the API, so I'll just click on the API, and I get to see everything that has to do with API annotations. If I'm under behavioral annotations, so I can actually click on behavior to see all types of annotations that are associated with behaviors. So this is a cool feature that will help us to actually organize, that will actually help us to give more information to various elements in our design. This is a very cool feature which Zeplin has provided for us. So guys, creating user flows and annotations in Zeplin makes it easy to communicate the intentions of our product to our engineers and other team members in working on the project. So you will agree with me that these new features will eliminate the stress involved in communicating the re-iterations of our designs to our team members. So go ahead and try out this new feature and let me know what you think about this in the comment section. See you guys in the next video. Please remember to like, subscribe if you're not subscribed to this channel, and also leave me your feedbacks in the comment section. I'll be there to answer your questions. See you in the next video.